I believe aviation is a worldwide dream that is shared by anyone, anywhere, doesn't matter what the borders are, or age, or whatnot. And I'm very focused on bringing flight simulation to everyone. And so hardware is not really first and foremost on my mind. I think about the continent of Africa with 1 billion people, 60-70% of which are under 30. And I see how many play flight sim. And it's not very many. And I keep looking at that map. I'm like, what do I need to do in order to at least expose them to our beautiful hobby? And that is how I think about this. And I will fly to Africa next year, and I'm already talking to some governments about STEM programs and seeding this in schools, because this is something that needs to be brought to them, I think. It's not going to be accidental. So that is how I think about audiences and audience expansion. There's a whole planet full of people, and you're not anywhere near reaching all of them.
Yeah, we talk about it ever so often. It came up with other marketplaces. We're obviously friendly colleagues of a lot of these people who have marketplaces, and iBuilds or Just Flight or whoever. The DRM thing is tricky in that, like, I would say, have we really resolved it? Not really. And there are people that are very proactive in hacking stuff, and they do hack stuff. And it's just, there's no ultimate hack protection. That doesn't exist. It's a back and forth, it's like a ping pong match, bing, bing, bing. And I would say right now, you can probably find some of the Microsoft first party planes that are in the marketplace elsewhere, even though we don't ship them anywhere else. And that tells you everything about everything. So it's, I would say our priority is not that. Is it something we never will consider in the future? We might consider it. It's just not something we've been really focused on. So right these last 30 weeks or so, it's shocking how little I get to fly. It's just too much stuff. But we're almost done. And the next 10 weeks, I intend to fly a lot. And where do I fly? What do I fly? I'm a bush plane guy. So I like gliders. I flew gliders. You know where I'm from. There's actually gliders there. I grew up 200 meters away from a glider airport in Offenburg. And I was in gliders when I was 12. Probably was not legal, but whatever. I flew it was an ASK-13 or some such thing. I love gliding. I like bush planes. I'm still somewhat intimidated by large airliners. I just think, it's just not my thing. But doesn't mean it's not awesome. It's just not, I'm not good enough, I think. I probably will fly all kinds of things, simply because I want to test the entire product. So I look at the new ultralights, they look fun from Blue Mesh, so I'm going to try those. Definitely going to try the Draco, that's awesome. But I will go pretty much fly everything. So the next 10 weeks is when I really, and David is already in that. The design is done. He's just flying and gives feedback and trying to make it better, right? So that is, right after this event is over, that's what I'm going to be doing. Cool. I got a new machine. Dustin has a machine for me. I'm like, oh yeah. Apparently I'm getting a new VR device. Cool. Yep. People tell me my G2 isn't good enough anymore. It's like, okay, cool. Even though I like it, but I will try whatever people throw at me. So. But I'm looking forward to it, actually. I mean, it is probably the number one request from core simmers. Of course, it is what we do. Is fly planes. I mean, what was clear is that the ground handling wasn't awesome, and that had a lot to do with the ground. So you can fake it, or you can do the ground better, and we did that. So the whole physics system is now much more appropriate to the ground physics being, the ground itself being much more detailed. On the flight side, I don't know if you talk to anyone, we actually ended up recording a whole bunch of planes. So the team set up their own equipment, put the equipment on board, get the telemetry, do a bunch of maneuvers, put those maneuvers and the telemetry output into the sim, and then try to tweak the sim to the degree that it's congruent. That went on for a long time. And they didn't do it for every plane, but because we can't get access to every plane, but they did it for a whole bunch of planes. So the planes should feel, there was a plan once to show it. Like here's the real world data, guys, and here's the actual data that we have, and it's the same. So maybe that could end I think it's an endless debate, frankly, but that was sort of an idea. Show the wind tunnel and show the behavior. and just show everybody that it actually does exactly what it's supposed to do. We hear that from the manufacturers all the time, that they say, we have it with our test pilots, the test pilots say it's perfect. I'm sitting there like, awesome, that should be good enough, right? But no, there's people that think the test pilots don't know what they're doing. It's like, okay, cool. But yeah, I think we've taken some steps. I would say, is it perfect now? I don't think it's ever going to be really perfect, but it's better. Niels wrote me last week and said, hey, we should talk. I was like, Niels, I'm going to this event. I just can't. Like, let's talk about it after. But yeah, no, I felt bad. I wanted to go to Aero and I wanted to go to the FS weekend last year. And frankly, it was just too busy. But this next year we're going. Cool. And unless some calamity happens, I will show up, and I think some others will come with me. I'm most excited for the career system, simply because it's something completely new, and I don't mean, look, I've made games 30 years. There's never been anything like this before. And the reason why I like it is because one of our principles going into it was, well, the core simmers are used to free flight. And we know for a fact you can't tell core simmers what to do, right? Otherwise they'll get mad at you, and it was, yeah. So, and because I was like sitting there, I read the feedback and people said, hey, after the tutorials I'm falling into a gap, I don't know what to do, and a lot of people left because they didn't know what to do. So then there was one path which was like, okay, should we make a few hundred more tutorials? And ultimately I think where we landed is better, because I think learning by doing is the right way, right? You learn by repetition. Like if I have vague memories of being in school and listening to some math professors, and like, I learned it, reproduced what I learned in a test, and I forgot it all again. This is my current state. So is that great learning? No. And then there's the stuff I do every day, and I do retain that because I need it. So the fact that we have the career structured, that I can basically opt into whatever the heck I want to do, get whatever specification I want to do, whatever certificates I want to get, I already made choices for myself. And then if the thing forces me to really actually prove that I know what I'm doing in a natural way, then it's very much like life. Because that's what life is. You make choices, you want to go do this, well, you probably need some skills. Okay, cool. Get yourself those skills and then you're good at it. And I think there is a real hope I have that the people engaging with the career will become better pilots. Not just digital pilots, better pilots, because you actually have to understand what the hell to do. Instead of saying, oh, I want to do a firefighter. Let me do a firefighter plane real quick and I'll just dump some water and it's going to be great. You don't know anything about this, you know? So we talked to the Central European Firefighting Organization, right? So the Sécurité Civile they're called. And they explained to us fire propagation and how the heck to actually do fire lines and all this stuff. And that's better, you learn it. And then you're actually going to have some proficiency. Remember, like Sims are all about getting better at something, really understanding the systems, really diving deep. That is what this does. That is why I think I'm so proud of it, because it's not a game, it's not some random more tutorials glued on some stuff that you will quickly forget right after. I think you're going to organically earn your career. And I think it's never been done that I know of. And I think it's a great experiment, but I have high hopes that it will be something else. Something that really takes us forward.